Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. I'm welcoming three special guests for this special day. Tottenham have won in the Premier League. Spurs 4, Burnley 0. I've got international DJ Fenton G. Welcome to the channel, Fenton. I've got ex-EastEnders actor Ricky Norwood. Welcome to the channel again, Ricky. And I've got regular to this channel, Craig. Now, Fenton, let's start with you. Tottenham Hotspur 4, Burnley 0. What did you make of today's game?
Come on, yes, we won. To start with, we won, and relief. And they played well. It wasn't we were at the 18-yard opposing area, and then it goes back to Lloris, so that was refreshing. Bale started. Bale scored within 2 minutes. What can I say? 3 points. Happy days.
Ricky, let's come to you. Now, Tottenham finally won in the Premier League. You know, prior to today, 5 defeats out of our last 6 Premier League games. It felt good today, didn't it, to get back to winning ways?
We needed that win. We all needed that win to come through, man. To see them play with some skill and some swagger was so good, bro. Like, it was so refreshing. We all needed that, man.
Craig, how are you feeling about it?
Yeah, well happy. Well happy. After we spoke Thursday, I think we said it was could be a catalyst, and it was good to get on that winning sort of train again, wasn't it? And get back on the horse and get there and try and win points in the Premier League, which we desperately need. So it's really good to kick on from Thursday and bring it to the Premier League. And what a fantastic start! Again, we spoke about it, quick start, and it was great to see us get off the mark early and get in the lead and hold the lead, keep a clean sheet. What more can you say? Brilliant.
Now, I want to get more into today's game in a minute, but I want to introduce my guests properly. Now, Fenton, tell me how you got into supporting Spurs.
Wow. I've been to. I don't know if I want to give away my age, but I've my first proper Spurs kit was in 1986, and that was my favourite shirt, and that's the Hummel. With the arrow going across the chest, which we got to the FA Cup final with, but obviously we didn't wear it in the FA Cup final in '87. Family were Tottenham. And they took me, I think my first game was in '86, Newcastle 3-1 at the Lane, and then that same season, Chelsea at the Lane. And it's gone on from there. I got diagnosed with diabetes in '91, and obviously our captain, legend Gary Mabbott, actually came and visited me at my house. And it was my inspiration. And Tottenham, well, obviously from a young age, and I'm just now introducing my little 3-year-old to Tottenham.
Now, Fenton, as well as being an international DJ, I've read some facts about you in the last couple of days. Now, you quit you quit professional football at the age of 18. You then went into personal training, model and actor, and you were in Dream Team. Modelling, you modelled for the Tottenham catalogue, which I've got here.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
How did that all come about?
Oh, wow. That is amazing. Yeah, I never got to be a mascot, actually, for Tottenham, because I was always, like, I'm over 6 foot now, but I was always bigger than the players back in the day. And I modelled for, what was it called? Blue Ink. And there was a connection between Blue Ink and Tottenham somewhere along the board. And I got the opportunity to be the catalogue boy. So that season, 2006, 2007, 2008, all the players knew me. I used to obviously go to the games, and it was just, I guess that's my claim to fame, really, like being in the catalogue. And that's probably one of my favourite photos of me. And there's a few people that are watching tonight that still wished I looked like that.
Ricky, let's come to you. As well as being in EastEnders, you ever done any catalogue modelling for Tottenham?
No, mate, no. But I mean, when you see pictures like that, why not? I mean, I think we should do it, boys. maybe for 2022 season or something. We could
That's
all do
it.
this first catalogue.
Ricky, when you were in EastEnders, were there any other actors that supported Spurs? Did you have much football conversation going on set?
Well, to tell you the truth, I was mostly there by myself for a while. There were a couple of actors that came in a bit later. Do you know Jamie Foreman? He does so Jamie Foreman, the actor, he's big time Spurs fan. So when he came in, he knew that I had the gloves, the Spurs gloves on set, and the Spurs scarf on set. So he already knew that I was Spurs. So he was like, "Well, how did that happen?" And I went, "Well, I just kind of suggested it, like as a character thing." He was like, "Well, I'm going to suggest that too." So then, he started bringing some flags and some scarves for inside the house and some Tottenham clocks for the set and stuff like that. So yeah, there was always, at least I had one, whether it be like a guy, one of the runners or one of the extras, or like Jamie. So there was still a lot of banter, bro. There's still a lot of West Ham. There's a lot of Arsenal at East. So a couple of Liverpool as well. So yeah, man, there was a lot of banter there.
Ricky, I've seen in the past they tend to get their West Ham logos into the show. But did you ever sneak the Tottenham logo into any scenes?
I know I had them. I had them on my gloves. So I had Spurs gloves and a Spurs scarf. But I do remember there was one scene where it was a stag scene, and the whole of the pub went out and they played, but they played in claret and blue, and I was like, yeah. Do you know what? Actually, I don't think, because Fat Boy was he was looking after the pub. There were so many different excuses that I came up with that I didn't end up wearing the claret and blue for the stag do team in that scene. So yeah, they tried to get me into claret and blue, but I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it, mate. Wasn't having it.
Ricky, after leaving EastEnders, you went into Celebrity Big Brother and was actually runner-up in that house. How was that experience for you?
Oh, that was crazy. That was absolutely nuts, man. It was a surreal experience. But it made you kind of stand up and kind of for all the things that you say that you believe in and you will stand up for, it kind of forced you to kind of face those and see if you would at certain times. And so, yeah, I mean, there was ups and downs, but I learned loads from it, man.
Brilliant, brilliant. Craig, let's come to you. Now, let's get back to the football. Now, Gareth Bale is officially back. He may have turned up at Hotspur Way back in the summer. All of us were super excited. But, in these last few weeks, he is definitely back now, isn't he? You're a big fan of Gareth Bale. You've been telling me in the last couple of months that he will come back and he will get back to his best. And today is real proof of that. Yeah.
And it's just been amazing to see him over the last 3 or 4 games. You can just tell he was coming back, and he still got it. And I just think it gave not just us, the fans, a lift. You could visibly see it on the pitch today, what it did for the players around him. And I really do think he was the catalyst, the reason, if you like, that we've played well the last 2 or 3 games. He's changed the West Ham game. All right, we didn't win, but we said before, didn't we? He changed that game, and we were unlucky. We deserved to draw out there at least, I think. And today, he just showed what it was all about. He shows he's. Do you know what? Almost a frightening in a good way. I think he's still only at about 80%. I think there's more to come from him if he stays fit. I mean, I think Jose did the right thing today, taking him off, because you make him play 90. I don't think he had much more left in the tank today. If I'm honest, you could see he was tiring a little bit, just timing his runs. But that first half, I mean, the pass to Kane, his own goal. I mean, it was just, he's getting back to the Bale of old. He's not quite there yet, but, Christ, he's better than probably 95% of the Premiership. And you could see the players are just scared of him when he runs at them. He absolutely skinned that defender today on the right-hand side. And like I say, there's more to come, and it really gives me hope for the next few games, certainly, and where we can be after this run of, let's say, winnable games.
Fenton, let's come to you. What have you made of Tottenham's season so far? Because, of course, this is your first time on the channel, so thank you very much for your time tonight. What have you made of Tottenham's season so far? Because it wasn't that long ago, Tottenham was sitting pretty top of the Premier League.
I think it started off a bit iffy, and then we started doing some great stuff. And then something happened, and it was almost like something's going on behind closed doors, which obviously we don't see. I just hope it's not as serious as the whole changing room thing happening again. The players need to work with each other more, and I think that's what was lacking prior to, in the Premiership games anyway. And all this going back to the goalkeeper arc, it's just really frustrating. And if we were at the stadium, I'm sure there would be a lot of boos going on. So we need to not mess around with it. And, we beat Burnley today 4-0, but with all due respect, that should be a standard 4-5-0 anyway. The other teams put 4 or 5 goals and they want more. So I was a bit disappointed that we didn't get 6.
We had enough chances in that game, though, Fenton, didn't we?
Yes, there was a lot of chances. And I think today's game will give the boys confidence. And we need to climb back up that table. There's some great key players, which I'm sure we'll get onto the formations and players in a bit. But they need to work together, and we really need to be putting away 4, 5, 6 goals against teams like Burnley. No disrespect, but we're that much better individually.
Ricky, I know from talking to you in the past, you're probably one of the positive people that I know, and I love you for that. As soon as I knew that you were going to come on the show, I thought Tottenham have to win, because we can't talk about a defeat, because even if Tottenham lost, you'd see all of the positives, which I love that about you. But there were so many positives today, particularly after the last couple of results in the Premier League for us.
Yeah, there was. It was great to see. Like I said, we all definitely needed to see that from the team as well. But the obvious biggest positive was to see Sonny, Kane, and Bale, and Lucas playing a free football, like a front-footed football, and scare the opposition. Burnley are a tricky customer. Yeah, they're at the bottom of the table and stuff like that, but you know what we're up against when you play against Burnley. So, and we on the back of the last couple of results as well, we've all been waiting to see this Tottenham, basically. It's solid at the back, but free-flowing at the front. And it was beautiful to see. It was beautiful to see Sergio Aurier and Reguilon overlap and track back to defend and play the triangles, and always there, always available. Like the partnerships, even in midfield, Højbjerg and Ndombele now, they're starting to understand each other's game a bit more. And Ndombele, man, I mean, wow, left foot, right foot, it could hit the back of his foot, and I'm sure that it'd get in a positive play position. I mean, he did slip on the ball like that, towards the end of the game, but I'll allow him. But he's another breath of a breath of fresh air to see him twist and turn and jank. So, there's partnerships building left, right, center, and we've needed to see that quality from Bale that we know that is there, and we've been waiting for. So not just his assists, but just any one of his passes or his ideas, what he tried to put in motion. I think he inspired the team to play the way that they did today. So yes, it's very encouraging. I'm not going to go too over the top, but it's super encouraging, and boy, did we need it.
Well, it's interesting you say that, though, Ricky, because a lot of fans have said, yeah, but it's only Burnley. And of course, Fenton just said there, it's expected that Tottenham should win these games 4-5-0. Of course, we beat them last season 5-0 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but we have struggled against teams like this of late. So going into the next game, like against Fulham and Crystal Palace in the Premier League, surely that is going to give the players huge confidence going into those games now after today's result and, of course, Wednesday's result against Wolfsburger.
The most important thing is that we've got building blocks. So we've built off of the cup game on Thursday, and we've taken it into the league game. And if we can start putting these building blocks together, we could go on a positive run, and maybe we can see the best of our Tottenham, the Tottenham that we wanted to see for a minute. So, yeah, I understand what's happened yesterday, but I'm trying to put these blocks together and keep moving forward, man, in a positive direction for the boys.
Craig, we have to see all the positives, don't we? Because Tottenham do need to put that run together now.
Yeah, absolutely. And absolutely, the next two games, as you say, you're dead right. I said to you last week, I think we need to take 9 points from these three games. There's no excuses, really. We should be beating these teams with all due respect to them. And, that's part one out of the way. Let's kick on. It's a big week, isn't it? 3 games in 7 days. And, there's no reason we can't do it. And I actually said to my son, we was talking about it a couple of days ago, we were 9 points behind West Ham, but we've got a game in hand. They're in fourth. I said, if they lose to City and we beat Burnley, we win our game in hand. I know we're not playing that yet, but we're essentially 3 points off where West Ham. I never thought I'd be saying that, by the way, but that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So top four, I know, some fans have written it off. It's still there. And you've only got to look at City where they were. And nobody really wrote them off at all, but back in October. But they've gone on a 20-match win run now. I'm not saying we're going to do it. I'm just saying it's possible. If we win all our games between now and the end of the season, sounds daft saying it, but if we do, we finish in the top 4. It's as simple as that. I can't see any other result. So belief now that the team's won a couple of games, hopefully they'll carry that forward. And then, even if we have to grind out results, but it was great to see Tottenham playing on the front foot, further up the pitch. It was just fantastic to see.
Craig, it makes a huge difference as well that, Jose Mourinho, he was under pressure. I can't see any negative comments about Jose Mourinho today. No, absolutely. And, that shows you how well we played. And I think everybody agreed with the team selection. I think we all wanted to see Ali in there in place of Lucas. It might have been harsh on Lucas because he has played well. He's been scoring, hasn't he? And to be honest, he does wind me up a bit. Today he ran down a few blind alleys, didn't he? He just runs into people. But, he scored, playing well. Ali got on. He didn't look too fed up. He got on with his game and played, and hopefully we'll see him in the week. Like Jose said, there's 3 games in 7 days. He's going to need the whole squad for that, even probably Winks and Sissoko, which obviously we're all pleased about, seeing Harry Winks on the pitch. So, it's let's go for it. Let's get 3 wins. Fenton, when you saw the starting lineup come out today, were you happy with that starting 11? Because I know a lot of Tottenham fans wanted to see Dele Alli in the starting 11, but Gareth Bale come in there and of course had a fantastic game. But do you think that Jose Mourinho's starting 11 today is probably Tottenham's best 11?
I was more excited than I usually was. To be honest with you, I was really happy that Toby was playing because I haven't really understood why Toby hasn't been playing. Starting, I should say. There's question marks about Davidson, but Eric Dyer's been making too many mistakes of late, more than Davidson. So that was a tricky one for me. Seeing Bale in the lineup was refreshing, but when you've got a player like Ndembele, it's really hard to fit Dele in because not that they're similar players, and Højbjerg, there's not room for everyone. And unfortunately, there are going to be the odd player that gets left out. But then they've just got to work harder as an individual to get back in the team. But obviously, I don't see what Jose sees or the training staff or working with the players. So I have to put my own judgment and opinion to the side and think that, you know, I've got confidence in my manager that he's picking what he believes is the strongest team that day. So yeah, I was happy. I was very, very happy today. But when you got Ndembele, he's like my favourite. Him and Højbjerg, it's just like wow players. So it is hard for Delhi to get in. But you know, if you want to be in a good football club, you're going to be surrounded with talented players, and I'd rather be at a talented with talented players at a big club than playing week in and week out for just a lower standard club.
Fenton, what have you made of all of the criticism for Jose Mourinho in the last few weeks?
I'm
Are you fully behind Jose?
I'm no. If I'm being honest, no. I'm not a fan. However, if he does a good job, then I'm backing him. You know, but I can't be doing with this attacking and then it ends up back at Hugo because it's just frustrating to watch. And as you know, like I said, if we were all at the Tottenham Stadium, we'd all be booing and going crazy, like frustration. Listen, I'm no Premiership armchair manager. He's won stuff. I do think he's had his time, but you know, after Pochettino leaving, which I was like almost crying about, if not probably crying, where'd you go from there? You know, it's a tough one, and you've got to give him time, give him his players. You know, he's had chats with Ndembele, and now look at him. So if he's having chats with Delhi, he made Delhi aware of what was in the show on Amazon, and let's hope that he doesn't throw his toys out the pram and Delhi does something about it, like he hopefully is doing. And you know, you've got a backing manager, and we need to win. We need to win, and we can't be losing against West Ham and playing awful.
Yeah. Ricky, how are you feeling about Jose Mourinho? Because I know, like I've already said, you're a hugely positive person. You know, Jose Mourinho has had an awful lot of flack from Tottenham fans, you know, about the style of play, the results of late. But, you know, hopefully Tottenham can turn this around, and particularly after the result in the Europa League and after today's performance in the Premier League. Are you confident that Jose Mourinho will turn this around and be a success at the club?
Honestly, yes, bro. Like, I know, and, you know, like, I'm a massive Pochettino fan, and I love the football he was playing under him. And it still hurts to think that he's not with us. Yes. But when we had lockdown and football taken away from us, it kind of gave me a little time to give Mourinho a clean slate and to give the team a clean slate. And we came back after lockdown, and you know, and we just wanted to finish the season, and every little glimmer of joy and hope that they did give us, even like that little battle to get into the Europa League and stuff, like, you know, it was joyous because we didn't know whether we was going to have football back again. So the beginning of this season, I was kind of on a clean slate rather than kind of taking my previous fan bias against him, you know, being manager for Man United or for Chelsea or for Real Madrid for that matter. You know, instead of having my previous bias on him, I just tried to give him a clean slate and try to look at what he's done for Tottenham in the situation that he's been in. Pochettino did say it was going to be a painful rebuild, and I think this is all part of it. There's still some players in there that might want to leave and play under Poch now that he's got another club. But they're going to have to fight as well to get in those teams. It's not like anybody's walking into those teams, you know, straight away that we're going to sell like that, you know. So I've given Mourinho a clean slate, and I've tried to look at the situations that he's been in. You know, you saw how hard he was pushing for Skriniar in the summer, or Dias was the rumored other name, right? And if he would have got that one centre back that he was really calling for, then I can understand. you know, like then he could have some pieces of the puzzle. We've done great business. I still think we've done great business with Højbjerg, with Reguilon. You know, even bringing Bale back, I was overjoyed, bro. Like I was like, wow, we've even got a backup striker. What? Okay, cool. Like this is, you know, so there was a lot within the circumstances of lockdown and no fans and stuff like that that I felt we done really well. But it was obvious that we needed that one other defender to be in there. Now, you Fenton mentioned Toby. Like Toby being in there today was fantastic because he's the really experienced centre back there. He's the most senior centre back. He's the most experienced in that position. When he first came to the club, the first thing he done was calm that defence down. You know, there was a calmness. It was like, it's okay, it's cool, I've got it. If I haven't got it, I'm going to give it to Jan, and Jan's got it, you know. And seeing him in the cup game and today, like, it was nice to see him organising. It was nice to see a bit of experience there, you know. So maybe if, you know, Mourinho would have got Skriniar in, we would have been challenging a little bit more. It was only a little while ago that we was playing beautiful football, you know. Kane and Son were scoring bagfuls, and we was playing this attractive kind of brown, but still a little bit solid as well at the back. But then it all went the other way, and he's tried different plans and tried different scenarios. And there's been a lot of individual mistakes in those last 5 games. You know, like against the Hammers last week, there was a lot of gaps in that defense. You know, and then how can you kind of argue against a man that's going to go, we're going to do defensive training tomorrow morning? They kind of needed it when you saw gaps like that against them. So it's a bit of both. I'm giving him a clean slate. I think he's doing not a great job, but a good job so far. And I think there's more to come from Mourinho and his team. And I think by him challenging Bale, Dele, Ndombele last year, by challenging them and not just giving them the respect that they normally get off of their name or their price tag, I think we might be seeing the best of these players and for the rest of the season yet to come.
Ricky, today's back four, Sergio Aurier, Sergio Reguilon, Davinson Sanchez and Toby Alderweireld. Would you say that this is Tottenham's best back four? Because Jose Mourinho has made so many changes, particularly in the last couple of months in all competitions.
I think on performances, an easy answer is yes. But like a big shout out to a friend of mine, Original Heartman, those that know, we speak about the defenders, and he was talking about having a talker in the back line, and Toby being that talker and that organizer, I think he could help someone like Davidson because they come from the same Ajax school. So maybe there's an understanding there, or maybe, you know, Toby can say something to him which helps him stay like on for the 90 minutes, you know, or in those trouble times. There ain't no switching off here and there. So it looked promising today, but I tell you what, Chris, I'm going to trust Mourinho to do his job and find that perfect balance. You can see that he's been trying to find it for a long time, you know, and let's hope that this is something to build on.
I've got to say, Ricky, watching the Amazon documentary with Jose Mourinho, if there were any Tottenham fans that doubted Jose Mourinho, after watching that, surely you'd have had a better understanding of how he works, what he wants from players. You know, he demands 100%. Even when we were 3-0 up today, he was out there in his box, you know, shouting at the players, saying, you know, get back, get in position. You know, he wants to win. He is a born winner. So, you know, like Fenton said earlier, if Pochettino can't deliver trophies at Spurs, and then Jose Mourinho comes in and can't deliver trophies at Spurs, what on earth would we do next?
I don't know, bro. But whatever happens, win, lose or draw, you know what I mean? We're going to be Tottenham through and through, you know? So we'll back them either way. We'll back them either way. But like all of us, we all want the best for our team. And, you know, and Mourinho does have a pedigree. He said it in a press conference the other day. He does have a couple of doctrines out there that other coaches have taken and been successful with their teams in this league, you know? So let's still give him time. There's still a lot of work that he's doing. You can see that even when it comes down to that old bias about him not playing youth. Well, we saw the kids that he had on the bench in against Wolfsburger AFC the other day. You know, So he is bringing a couple through. He's spoken about Scarlett, about wanting to bring him into the first team fold. These are all encouraging signs, you know, and to see the team play like that today and on Wednesday, you know, like I say, these are positive building blocks, and I would love it to flourish. I want Belly to have his chest puffed out when he comes on or when he plays the next game, wanting to prove something. When then Lucas comes on to replace somebody, I want to see his chest ready to go. When Bergie comes on, I want to see, you know, like I want to see this rather than, all right, cool, we've got to pick the team up. Like, you know, big chests, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like big confidence, like, let's go. And this is what they need. So fingers crossed the next game that he build on this and there's another positive block to put on top of it. And you know what I mean? Who knows where we'll end up, or who knows where we'll finish, you know?
Craig, let's come to you. Same question. Do you think that is Tottenham's best back four? And, you know, when you look at forward line, you know, today, Gareth Bale, Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, and then, of course, Dele Alli come on as well today as a sub. You know, it's a very attacking line. But, of course, all season we have, you know, struggled with mistakes at the back. But is this Tottenham's best back line?
Do you know what? It's difficult to say. I think it shows that I don't think Mourinho knows, because of the amount of changes he's made, and it's not always down to injury. You know, he just hasn't settled on a back four, and that's kind of what the foundation of teams that challenge for the title is built on. Whoever that team is, you've only got to look at Liverpool when they won it. You know, you could name their back five if you include the keeper, couldn't you? So I don't think he knows. So do I know? I've been a critic of Sanchez, to be honest. He's got a mistake in him. I thought he actually played really, really well today, to be honest. I don't think he made many mistakes, if any. So fair play to him. Whether that was having Toby alongside him, I don't know, or whether he just had a good game. I like to think it's because he had a good game. The fact Toby was probably talking to him anyway. Would I have him in over Dyer? Probably at the moment, yes. I think I was so glad to see Aurier back, because I think Aurier and Reguilon 100% are our two best fullbacks. Personally, I've been a bit disappointed with Doherty. I think, I'd love us to go for Max Aarons in the summer. To be honest, I think he would be a perfect fit for Tottenham on the right hand side. Who you let go out of the other two, or whether you keep them both, I don't know. But going back to your original question, probably at the moment I'd have to say today's back four would be my personal choice at the moment. But I think it says a lot, because that could change next week. You know, whereas before, when you had Walker, Alderweireld, Vertonghen and Rose, if they had a bad game one week, I wouldn't suddenly change and say, I'll sling in somebody else. Whereas that's what we're doing now every week, isn't it? One of them has a bad game. You think, let's try Joe Rodon. Let's try Dyer in there. And that is the sign for me that you might not get an answer to that unless they have a run of 6, 7, 8 games where you get 4 or 5 or 6 clean sheets out of that run. So it literally depends on the next few games. Ask me again in about a month's time, and I'll probably, if I give you the same answer, you know we've done well. I think that's the thing to take out of that.
Are you surprised though, Craig, that Joe Rodon hasn't been included in these last few squads? Wasn't even named as a sub today.
I didn't even notice that, actually. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised, to be honest, because every time I've seen him, he's looked pretty good, to be honest, and he shouts a lot, doesn't he? He talks a lot. That's surprising for a young lad who's fairly new into the setup. He surprised me, and I think he's played well. I don't know I'm not saying something's happened there, but it does surprise me he's not in the match day squad. Yeah.
Fenton, let's come to you. Now, we know that Tottenham can score goals. Harry Kane, Heung-min Son. Now we've got Dele back in form as well, and Gareth Bale. It's exciting, isn't it? And in the next few weeks, we're going to have Giovanni Lo Celso coming back from injury as well.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I mean, going back to what you said about the documentary on Amazon, I think you're 100% right. That changed my opinion of Mourinho. And, yeah, I mean, it's exciting times scoring goals. As long as we score more than we concede and climb up the table and not draw them, Yeah, I mean, but again, I wouldn't want to be Jose because it's hard to pick, your best 11 all the time. Obviously I'd play Kane and Son all day long, and then, Højbjerg and Dembele. And then, if Mora's on form, you don't want to leave him out and put Dele in, but yeah, there's too many swapping and changing. I know we've got a lot of games, but yeah, we could probably swap and change the wingers going forward, but we've got to be more like positive at the back and just keep consistency there, because chopping and changing it just changes the dynamics. But going forward, it's just frightening. And Bale's goal today was pretty much the same as he did the other day. Literally, apart from he didn't go in the top corner, it went into the middle of the bottom. But fantastic, that he's scoring. It's a shame that Sonny didn't score. But I love Sonny. We need more. The players need to have more attitude like him, just trying and working as hard, and Kane works hard and not being lazy on the ball and working with each other on and off the ball. And Dembele's my, I think going forward, he reminds me a bit of Musa Dembele, apart from Dembele scores goals, but he can't get the ball off him. He's a beast in the midfield.
Fenton, a question now on screen from Francis about Hugo Lloris's performance today. Didn't have a great deal to do today, but that is now 100 Premier League clean sheets for him in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt. Only the 16th goalkeeper in Premier League history to do that. What have you made of Hugo Lloris's time at Tottenham? Of course, signing back in 2012 for us.
I mean, I think he's an amazing goalkeeper. People go, "Oh yeah, we should have played and bring Gazzino in," but no way. Like he makes mistakes, but everyone makes a mistake. We're all human. We're not robots. I know they're professional footballers, but occasionally, but it's just standard. But who else would we have in goal? There's you can't pick and choose. We've got Hugo. He's getting old, unfortunately. I think, was he 31 now? 32, maybe?
34, I think he is now.
34. Oops. I just hope we can keep him for a few more seasons. I feel safe with him now. I like him personally. He's one of my favourite ever Spurs goalkeepers. I wouldn't want to change him.
Ricky, let's come to you. There's been lots of speculation about Hugo Lloris possibly leaving at the end of the season to go to PSG to be reunited with Maurizio Pochettino. If that was to happen, what goalkeepers do you fancy Spurs signing?
Oh, bro! I mean, wow. Well, first and foremost, if Hugo goes, I think we will see the loss of it, because he's captained the club as well with class and grace for a long time, as well as being a great goalkeeper. Yes, there's been a couple of mistakes or dodgy performances here and there, but all in all, he's been a fantastic keeper for us for a long time. And I'm sure there was the world's biggest clubs after him, and he decided and chose to stay with us for all of this time, So if he does go, I wish him all the best, and I would say thank you for being a great keeper from an amazing time. And he will go down as a Spurs legend as well. So, all right, cool. That's the Hugo bit. Okay, who would I buy? Well, up until a little while ago, I would have said the Ajax goalkeeper Onana, but I know is he had a suspension recently or something like that? I can't remember what, but Yeah. So I think he's suspended. Yeah. So I don't know, bro. I mean, it's gonna have to be somebody that's got experience, but at the same time is we can have him for a few years. So maybe a swap, man. Like they've got Navas, didn't they, at PSG? Maybe a swap there. I mean, I would love Oblak if you're gonna ask me fantasy football. From Atletico Madrid. I still think he's a dynamite keeper. So that's a
Interestingly,
tough
how
one.
you haven't mentioned Premier League goalkeepers.
Say it again, Chris.
Interestingly, how you haven't mentioned Premier League goalkeepers. Bobby Singh writes on screen, Nick Pope. What do you think of Nick Pope?
I mean, I think he's okay. I think he's okay. I think he's had some great performances, and I think he's had but I haven't watched him as regular as I would, Hugo, for instance, because he plays for my team. So I've seen a few nice highlights of Pope, but I can't really give you an indefinite, like Henderson had a good season as well. What was it? I think it was last season he was playing for Sheffield United. He had a good season as well. So it's hard because there's not a lot for me to kind of weigh it up against. Like they're still young. I don't know if I've seen like Pope and Henderson play for a sustained amount of time and gone, oh, okay, cool, this can be a starter keeper. But that's my that's me because I haven't watched enough football this year. Especially from across the board. I've just been watching mostly Spurs, so that's more to do with my fault and just seeing highlights.
Ricky, what would you be happy with at the end of the season? What is a successful season for Tottenham? Because, when we go back to the days of Maurizio Pochettino saying, we need a big rebuild. It's okay having a mansion, but you need the furniture to go into it. Jose Mourinho had a transfer window in the summer, and of course a January one when he came in back in November 2019. What do Tottenham need, and what are we going for? Do we want to be title contenders? Do we want to sit in the top four? What are we challenging for? What are Tottenham actually going for, in your opinion?
In my opinion, if you've got Mourinho in, then he's going for it all at all times for as long as he can do until somebody tells him he can't. I kind of see that mentality behind him, So if it was mathematically possible for us to still win the title, I would believe that Mourinho believes that we can still do it, or we should still challenge for it, So with somebody like Mourinho, I think he goes for it all. I think you've seen how the teams that he's put out in most of the cup competitions, or the attitude that he's asked for, or the response that you've seen from the boys playing in these competitions, even the FA Cup that we went out against Everton, like it was a barnstorm. Like he brought on Vinicius when he could have brought on a defender. Like there was loads going on in that, but he went for it, and I think that's what Mourinho's whole ethos has been, is to go for it, whatever competition they're in, for as long, and we go to the wire. You go right to the end. So if these boys are now backing it, and we're seeing the best of, like we say, like look, Bale today, and if we start seeing the best of Delhi coming on and maybe starting at some point, then who knows? Because I saw like a kind of a, not an arrogance, but almost like a lion chest or a peacock chest. Like a lot of boys had they were up today, and we've all been waiting to see that from them. So if they can start building in these positive blocks that little bit by little bit they're putting on top of each other, then who knows? Why not? My prediction at the beginning, Chris, was for them to finish third. Obviously, that's not going to happen. So right now, this year, I would love a trophy and top four. If we can do that, top five even, I think that's a successful season.
What trophy do you want?
I want. Oh, wow. I want them both, Chris. I want them both. That's what I want.
Silly question.
I want them both. But I do want the Europa League one. I think that'd be great.
What do you want?
I think that'd be great. 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 I think that'd be gre
Craig, let's come to you. Now, Ricky rightly pointed out there, the Tottenham team came out like we wanted to win this game today. We started off very, very well. Of late, we haven't started off games very well at all. And today, we were bang on it. What changed for you today? Hopefully this is a turning point and we now go on to win many Premier League games until the end of the season. But, from the last 6 games where we've lost 5, what was different today for you in attitude?
I think we touched on it before. To be honest, you could see the confidence the players approached the game with. I certainly felt like the shackles were off today. Whether that's been fed down to Mourinho by Daniel Levy, that look, you've got to sort this out. We need to be playing on the front foot. We need to attack teams. Let them worry about us. Blah blah blah. I don't know, but it was just a confidence I think that's come from the good performances over the last 2 or 3 games, regardless of the opposition. I don't think that matters. Winning breeds confidence, and you could just see it in droves throughout all the players. And I've said before on here, let's attack teams. Let them worry about us. We all know how good we are going forward. Yes, we're a bit shaky at the back, but let's attack on the front foot. Quick start today. You saw what it did. Totally blew apart their game plan, didn't it? We scored within the first 2 or 3 minutes. That's their game plan out the window. They're immediately at plan B, and we're in the lead. So I don't want to see us sitting back. I don't care who it's against. I don't care if it's against Man City in that cup final. Let's go for it. Obviously, you can't just go all guns blazing against Man City, but at least let's give them a game and not let them just have 80% possession against us. So, in answer to your question, I just think it was the confidence. Yes, you got to look at the opposition, and they would know that we should be having more of the ball against teams like that. But it comes from winning. It comes from winning previous games, and you could see it today. What had changed.
Fenton, let's come to you. I don't know whether you saw the heated argument on Sky Sports between Jamie Redknapp and Roy Keane. And Roy Keane said, apart from Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, none of the other Spurs players would get into the likes of Manchester City's team, Liverpool's team, Chelsea's team. Lots of pundits have also said that Spurs are a very average team without Heung-min Son and Harry Kane. Now, for you, what keeps them two at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club? Because if Tottenham don't win a trophy at the end of this season, do you think that either of them or even both of them would leave?
Oh, I'd have to be positive and just, pray that they didn't. I don't think Harry would go to another Premiership club because I think he will leave Spurs once he's become Premiership all-time top scorer, and I think he'll do that at Tottenham. Sonny. I really don't know.
Do you know what? Do you know what?
Last year,
I was going to say, Fenton. Do you know what? Hugo Lloris, 2012, he signed for us. He still hasn't won a trophy at Spurs. Pochettino, some fantastic times. He left without a trophy. Moussa Dembele, same. Jan Vertonghen, Christian Eriksen. And then you've got like Harry Kane now in the team. You've got Dele Alli, Heung-min Son. All of these players not winning trophies. Surely we have to deliver this season.
Yeah, we do. We do have to deliver. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, I mean, we've obviously got a chance to win things, but I think fighting for the top 4 is equally important because if we want to attract top players and keep top players, they want to be playing Barcelona on a Wednesday night or Real Madrid on a Wednesday night. They don't want to, that's what we need to focus on as well as winning. But, football's changed in the last year. I'd like to, if it was me, I would stay. Obviously, I want to win things, but you know what? Sometimes you don't win things. But if you're I don't know. Is it the love of football, or I don't know. I'm torn between that. I'd like to think they would stay until we win something, because I want to be part of that team that wins something at Tottenham Hotspur and be recognised for that. And that would be my philosophy on it. Like, I want to win St. Tottenham. You know, not many people have, but I have. Type thing.
Ricky, let's come to you. Fenton rightly said about the league position is very important, and ultimately that's why Mauricio Pochettino got the sack as Tottenham Hotspur manager. You know, because the board felt that he couldn't reach that top four space any longer. Jose Mourinho eventually got us over the line and got us that Europa League place for this season. We're in a League Cup final already. You know, we're in the last 16 of the Europa League. How confident are you feeling about putting a trophy in the cabinet at last? You know, this 13-year drought.
Oh, mate. I mean, you know what? Like, there's been something in this season. You know, the whole season. I know, like the season ends in one. You know, like it's going to be Mourinho's first full season at Spurs. We've already, like he says, we've already got one final in the pocket. So all we got to do is win that one. And I think there is something building, but he's had a lot to deal with. He's still had some of the inherent problems that were there at the end of Pochettino's reign, you know. So, and he's still mixing. He's still mixing and matching. He's still challenging those players in a different way to what Poch would. Some players are responding to it, some are not, and even those that maybe wasn't. So, for example, Ndombele last year, because we all know, you know, he wanted to leave at one point. We've seen the transformation in that player this year. His fitness, his concentration, his ability to have a job and do that job, move the ball forward, be exciting, you know. And there's not too many people that can get the ball off him either. So by challenging him and getting this response, there's a lot that Mourinho is doing. So he's in a final. This is what he does. He knows how to handle a final. So I want that cup. I want that trophy in the cabinet to begin with. And I think it will kick us on. I think the first one will kick us on and let them boys believe in something. And maybe we can achieve something great this season, because we saw how hungover they were by the Champions League final. You know, there was a massive drop off a cliff straight after that, and it's because they was all heartbroken, including someone like Sonny. I mean, I don't know if you've seen the Son documentary on Amazon. It's fantastic, you know, to see that, how disciplined and how much he loves football, you know. So there's a lot going our way. There's a lot going our way, and I'm hoping that this is Mourinho time. You know, like my boy says expressions. He says "Trophy Mourinho." Like, I think it's that time. He's in one final. If he wins that, when we win that, then everything that he said up until that point has been proved true. That should instill another layer of belief and another layer of kind of let's go get them for the end of the season. And it could be one of the best ones yet. It could be one of the best ones yet.
Ricky, are you feeling confident again for top four? Because, you know, in the last couple of weeks, a lot of Tottenham fans were saying, you know, top four is completely off now. But when you look at it, we've now played 25, we've won 11, we've drawn 6, we've lost 8. We've got a goal difference of plus 14. We've got 39 points. We are now only 6 points off the top 4, and we do have a game in hand. You know, these next couple of games, Fulham away on Thursday, Crystal Palace at home on Sunday. Surely these two are absolutely vital must-win games if we have any chance in finishing in the top 4 this season.
You know, 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you, Chris. Got to be winning these games. Well, what makes me chuckle is how, like, I would say fickle us fans are sometimes, but it's not so much fickle. It's like emotional. How one week we can be heartbroken and be like, no, it's not happening. Forget it. Yeah. I don't want to hear about it. Forget Champions League. All right. And the next week we can be like, oh my God, we can do it. Like, and we can, you know, it's a roller coaster of a team that we support. I love them every single day. But like while it's all positive, the sky's the limit, Chris. Why not? Top four, whatever. This league is unpredictable. Everyone's gone on a dip sometimes. There's a lot of our players that feed off the fans, and I'm sure Bale would have wanted the fans in that stadium. I'm sure Delhi's one of those players that feeds off the fans. So when we get those back, if we get those back, that's another boost coming. So I am confident that because I'm emotional and we had a good game. I'm confident that we can push. Definitely, we can push for that top four, and we can bag a trophy at the same time, Chris. Because I'm that guy. I'm going to be positive until the last day.
I love it, love it, Craig. I think Ricky was actually talking about our conversation last week of us feeling like that, and now we're feeling so positive. Are we all getting carried away after a 4-0 home win against Burnley? Because a lot of people are saying it was just Burnley. We've got 13 games left in the Premier League. When you look at the fixtures, playing the top 6 sides, we've only got Manchester United at home, Leicester away. All of the other teams are mid-table teams, games that Tottenham should be winning. How confident are you right now of Tottenham getting that top 4 place?
Well, there's 39 points left to win, isn't it? Really, that's the way of looking at it. I don't think we're getting carried away. I don't think people are getting really carried away. I think we're just celebrating the fact Tottenham have won and they've played well. Nobody's saying we're going to definitely get the top 4. But Ricky, tell him the trophies are coming. He must be watching your channel, Chris. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I think we're all fairly grounded, if we're honest. Give it 4 or 5. If we win the next 2 games and then win the North London derby, I think we can have the conversation again. It's still about getting carried away. Top 4 was, as you've said many times, that is his remit, isn't it? Or Champions League. It's a bold requirement. So, if we don't get that, or it's not looking like that, you've still got the back door through the Europa League, haven't you? And the way that's been going, I think with favourable draw in the next round coming up, I'd like to think. So, why not? I think, we've got a chance in both competitions. I still think we've got a chance to get top 4 in the league if things go away. And the Europa League, why not? Why can't we go further? I mean, you get through this tie, you're down the last 8, and we've got as good a chance as anyone to win that. So, I don't think we're getting carried away. I think in a few weeks' time, we might do, depending on results. But, we've been there before, haven't we? But as you've said many times, we was top of the league. We was all cock a hoop, weren't we? And then look what happened. So we've been there before, I think. And anybody who is getting carried away, I'd say to them, don't. Let's just see how it goes. But obviously be happy that Tottenham have won.
Fenton, how confident are you that Tottenham could get in the top 4? Because Champions League football, is a board requirement. Pochettino got the sack because he didn't. The board felt that he couldn't get that top 4 spot. Jose Mourinho, of course, come in, got us over the line, got us Europa League football. But how confident are you at the end of this season that Spurs will be playing Champions League? Even if we didn't win the Europa League at the end of the season.
I think it's a realistic possibility, but we got to get though. We can't be going to Fulham on Thursday and picking up a draw. We need 3 points. We need to be winning those games that are essential so we can win our game in hand and then be up there. I think it's possible. Again, like Craig said, and I'm not getting excited. It's not over till the fat lady sings something. When it's the end of the season and we are fourth, and then I'm happy. But it's possible, and I believe we can do it. Yes.
Fenton, how are you feeling about the League Cup final on the 25th of April against Manchester City? Are you feeling confident for that one?
Well, if I wanted Liverpool or City, I think we can beat City. We do beat City. albeit that we got trashed to them the other day, not so long ago. But the last few meetings we've done at home, we've done them 2-0. Wembley, you know, we obviously last season, but we didn't do that great against them at Wembley that time. I think we've got a realistic chance to do it. I think we can do it, and yeah, I'm going to say we're going to do it. 2-1. There you go. You heard it first.
He's gone early there, isn't he?
Do you know what? People call me stupid and naive, but I think Tottenham will win the League Cup. I really do. I'm very confident of that, and I think that we will go all the way to the Europa League final as well. You know, people might think that I'm being absolutely mad, but that's how I feel. Ricky, let's come to you. Now, the Europa League draw took place a couple of days ago. Tottenham have been drawn against Croatian side Dynamo Zagreb. We've only ever played them once in our history. That was back in 2008. We won 4-0 at White Hart Lane with a Darren Bent hat-trick. They're sat top of the Croatian First League at the moment. What do you think of the draw?
I think it's a great draw. I think it's a great draw. I think the boys will be right up for it, bro. I think it's the round 16 now, so I think this is where it gets proper serious, and I think it's kind of favorable. We could have got drawn against a Premiership side. Is that right at this stage?
Yeah.
So we could have done that, and there's still some good teams out there. AC Milan with Ibrahimovic and stuff like that. So there could have been worse draws. It's a favorable draw, I think, and I think it's one that we are more than capable of winning. So the boys need to do what they're doing, put this forward thinking, this front footed football together, and let that front three keep blossoming. Sonny, Kane, and Bale. I mean, and that's another thing. Okay, we got done by Man City the other day, and Bale came on, but like it wasn't. We can see the type of Bale that we wanted at Spurs. Little bit by little bit. And him starting today, I thought was fantastic. And someone like that up for a cup final as well. Like Bale on cup final duty. That's dangerous. So for Man City and for Slavia Prague, Dynamo Zagreb. Sorry. Yeah. So that's dangerous, man. It's dangerous for them both. So I'm confident going into this tie.
Are you confident in winning the trophy then? Yeah.
Bro, like it's gonna be trophy time, mate. It's gonna be trophy time. Like Fenton was saying just there, look, man. We all know Man City is a dynamite team. Okay, they're a dynamite team. They've got quality across the park. But like Fenton said, there's been a couple of years where we've had them, and we've had the formula to beat them. And if everything clicks and goes in the right direction, I don't see why not. We're dangerous up against anybody in the world, mate. We're dangerous. That forward line on song, fit and firing, hungry. That's dangerous, bro. So, why not? Come on, you Spurs.
Craig, what did you make of the Europa League draw for Spurs?
I thought it was a great draw for us. I was like the other guys. I was a bit more nervous about drawing an English side, to be honest with you, even Rangers. I just think the draw, it could have been a lot worse. Let's face it. I don't see any problems getting. I must admit, I don't know much about this mob we're playing. But I know we should beat them. I know enough to know we should beat them, especially over 2 legs. I think it's been reversed now, anyway, isn't it? The first leg's in our place now, isn't it? I think they reversed it for some reason, just because of Arsenal, which is, is what it is, isn't it? You get on with it. At least when you play the away leg second, at least you know how many away goals you got to get. So it is what it is. We just get on with it. It doesn't really matter. Favourable draw. Then you're in the quarters, so we'll see what happens. Should we progress, which I'm pretty confident we will, to be honest, Chris.
When you think, though, Craig, the likes of Sergio Reguilon, they've won the Europa League last season. Of course, Gareth Bale has been there and won multiple Champions Leagues. Jose Mourinho has won all of these trophies. It's all about all of this experience coming together now in this competition and taking Tottenham all the way.
Yeah. They've got the tools to do it. That dressing room is primed. When you look around that dressing room, somebody like that Dane Scarlett, like we were talking the other day, if you was writing a report or an article on it and you're inside that dressing room, you would say we've got all the components needed to go and win that competition. And it's just a case of doing it, which is obviously the hardest part. But there's no reason we can't go on and win that competition. As I say, it's the English sides that would concern me the most out of everybody left in the competition. But even them, there's no reason we can't beat them. I'd like to play an English side in the final. That'd be great. Perhaps Arsenal, that'd be nice to beat them in the final, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Fenton, let's come to you. Last question for you all. Now, of course, it's another very busy week for Tottenham. Fulham away on Thursday, as I've said, and Crystal Palace at home on Sunday. For the next 3 weeks, we're playing Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday. Games are coming thick and fast. What do you expect Jose Mourinho to do this week against Fulham and Crystal Palace? Rotating the squad. Will Gareth Bale be in the starting lineup? Will Dele Alli come in? And how do you expect these two games to go?
I expect Dele to start against Fulham. Probably Bale to start. He'll probably rest Sonny for this one. I'm really glad Serge is back. I know people have about him, but as soon as he signed for Spurs, I got his number on my shirt straight away, and I really love him. Yeah, he was a bit funny to start with, but he's something about him that I really like. I'm glad he's back. I think he'll play. I hope he keeps the same back four. But I'm sure there'll be some rotation somewhere along the line. And knowing Jose, he will probably bring Dyer in to replace maybe Sanchez or Toby. He might even give Reguilon rest and play Ben. I think for the Fulham game, and then they're going to be full guns blazing for Palace. But I personally, I wouldn't do that. But, you've got 3 games in 7 days. And I know they're professional athletes, but we've got to look after those players as well. And we've got such a big squad. As long as they gel and play well together, it shouldn't really matter who we put out. We should be winning. They're that good.
Do you want to give me some score predictions, Fenton, for these 2 games? You feeling confident?
I think we'll beat Palace next Sunday 3-0 or 3-1. Let me go for 3-0. Go on. Let's have a clean sheet in there. Fulham away. I'm going to go for a 2-0.
Ricky, how are you feeling about it?
Clean sheets for Hugo.
Well, you see, I think Fulham are tricky, and I see them scoring at least 1 against us. So I'd say maybe Fulham, maybe like a 2-1, and I could see Palace as a 3-0. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Ricky, do you think that we will see Dele Alli in the starting lineup, because he hasn't started many Premier League games so far this season?
I think that is Fulham first, Chris. Fulham's first, right?
Fulham on Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he'll if he's going to give him a start, I think that's the best game to start him in the league, to give him a go, to say, okay, you've had a couple of sub appearances, but here you go, here's your opportunity. And I hope they play roughly the same 11 and start to get a bit of a good feel about them, and get the momentum going in that 11. So yeah, with Dele added in there, maybe Lucas on the bench, straight swap. I think that would be exciting to see. And then those use the stubs to our advantage. Again, maybe take off Bale on 60, 65 minutes, you know, and use the subs to our advantage. Maybe if Sonny needs a rest or if Dylan needs to be taken off because he's showing a bit of tiredness, then use the subs to our advantage.
Ricky, are you surprised that Carlos Vinicius hasn't had much Premier League game time? Of course, he's been playing in all of the cup competitions, in particular the Europa League. But when it has come to Premier League competition, he has hardly played minutes throughout this whole season so far.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have to give him some. You know, as you have already said, that we've got a lot of games coming up, and we're going to need him at some point because we know that Kane. Relying on Kane, and if he gets one little injury and he's out for 1 to 2 weeks, that could disrupt everything. So I do think he does need to have definitely a few more minutes, even if he's coming on for 10 to 15 minutes at the ends of games and stuff like that. But I think the more we take control over games, the more we control them like we did today, and dominate the ball and dominate chances and stuff like that, then I think it's a little bit more easier for Mourinho to take someone like Kane off or someone like Sonny off, because he relies on those guys to do the job, which they mostly do week in, week out, you know. And when we tried it the other way, it's gone a bit skew-if in some of the games. So I think there is that little bit of fear of taking off one of the big boys. But I think as long as we start controlling the games, especially up to 65, 70 minutes, then why not bring him on for 20 in the league? Or why not, you know, even, I know it will never happen, but even give him a start against either Fulham or Palace. You know, let's see. There's a lot in those boots. You can see he's a bit of a fox in the box. Sometimes his first touch is a bit off with a couple of the balls that come into him, but there's a player in there, and there's a determination and a hunger in there to do well, to succeed. You've seen his transition. He played centre back for a long time, you know, and they transitioned him to a centre forward. So to do that, to change positions, to be able to kind of transition and have he had a great season last season in the Portuguese league. So there is a lot in those boots, but I think Mourinho is bedding him in the same way he's bedded in a couple of the rest of the players and challenged him. And he already knows that Harry Kane's the man and the number one. If he's fit, then he's going to play. But be ready so that when he is called upon, we can rely on him and then he can be used as a more regular option.
Absolutely. Craig, if we get wins against Fulham and Crystal Palace, things will start to look very differently and very favourable that Tottenham can get back into that top four. How are you confident of these two matches?
Yeah, on the basis of the last few games, especially today, I am, to be honest. I'll personally go for 2-0 in each game. I think we'll keep 2 clean sheets in a row. Just going back to the Vinicius point, I am still not that confident in him, if I'm honest. That's partly down, it's not his fault. I don't think he's had enough game time to, you know, like, let me make that decision properly. But if you was to ask me, are we going to pay 40 million to keep him in the summer? I would say no, because when you look at the bigger picture, is he a 40 million pound player when you can let him go back and put in a bid for Skriniar, which I think we need more. We need a defender, perhaps a little bit more they're going to want for Skriniar, but that's 40 million you could put towards Skriniar. You've got Troy Parrott coming back. You've got Dane Scarlett coming through, who are probably more than happy to learn and sit on the bench and be back up to Harry Kane. Now, I haven't seen much of Troy Parrott. I don't know how he's getting on at, is it Ipswich he's at now? I don't know how much game time he's had, but what I've seen of him in a Spurs shirt, it really is really encouraging. So for me, I like Vinny. I really do. I like his passion. He's scored goals, yes, against weaker opposition, you could say, but you can only score against who you're playing against. You can only score against what he's been put in the team against. But if you're asking me, are we going to pay 40 or should we pay 40 million for him in the summer? I would say no. It's a shame because I like the lad. But for me, he goes back. Thank you very much. He goes back, but we go all guns blazing for Skriniar plus a little bit of money. We get Troy Parrott back and bring him and Dane Scarlett into the team, who are going to be happy, like I say, to be Kane's backup.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's hope that we can just finish the season with a trophy, because 13 years without a trophy is just far too long for a club like Tottenham Hotspur. And after today's win, and of course Wednesday's win in the Europa League against Wolfsburger, I'm sure that this will give the team and Jose Mourinho huge confidence of going into this very busy week again against Fulham and Crystal Palace. And let's hope that Tottenham can get back in that top four. Fenton, Ricky and Craig, thank you very much for being my very special guest today. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you all. We can talk Spurs all night, but we'll end it there, and hopefully all three of you can come on the channel again very, very soon. Thank you very much, and come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.
Come on you Spurs.